Squad Pod. Squad Pod.
Hey everybody, welcome to Squad Pod Sports, where we bring you our thoughts on the latest games and sports news around the sports world, brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. Before we get into everything, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter at Squad Pod Sports. We are past 700. We are moving on to 800 now, and I want to thank everybody involved. If you're watching, go tell your friends. We really appreciate it. And we are also
Thank you very much. Always posting awesome content on there.
Yeah, so I mean, thank you for everybody following. Make sure to go tell your friends, bring them over, follow on Twitter and the YouTube channel, and check out all of our content that's on there. We are also coming to you. This won't come out on the same day, but as of right now, it is Kobe Day, 8/24. You got your
MAMBA
Kobe
Day.
jersey hanging up all the time.
Kobe's
But
back
still
there.
repping 24.
They're on Gilmore, even though he's really
I'll wear
hurt.
my
You know what I
Kobe
mean?
jersey.
There we go. You got to represent it.
So we're going to talk about Kobe a little bit here, but we'll also talk about some NBA news, and of course all the NFL news is going on, ramping up in here to week 1 here in a couple weeks, man. It can't come soon enough. And of course
that top 5 running back list for the fantasy football. Last week we did quarterbacks. This week we're doing running backs.
Nice.
So got that coming for you as well.
To see what you have on that top 5 running backs. And then, of course, you know how we do it. We're going to do the bias bubble and the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast.
Some shit going down in New England, man.
Uh-oh. Shit going down. I did see a couple things there. Old Cam. But we'll talk about that then. As of right now, Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, you know, he's infamous now. You know, he's legendary status at this point, you know, and as of we're shooting, it is 8/24, August 24, Kobe Day. And you brought a little something special to the podcast here tonight.
I do. I have the top 3, my favorite Kobe moments there. Okay. So the 2010 title over the Celtics, watching that. I remember just being younger, staying up and watching that, and he's jumping up on the table, doing just and it being over the Celtics, the history of that.
The rivalry and everything.
The 81-point game, even though I didn't watch it, that's what amazing performance. I've watched it back now as I was older, but I didn't watch it live. I wish I would have. And then number 1 is that 60-point performance to end career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Season, he's just 60 points. It's insane. It was legendary. You know.
Yeah, my favorite moment is us watching his last game. You know, all of us just getting together, because I mean you're the Lakers fan out of the group, so I mean just to have me, you, and Alex sit down and we watched the whole game, and we were so damn hyped, just because he just kept getting
what
buckets.
Is going on? And everybody was at this game. It was Snoop Dogg at the game and shit
Shaq
like that.
was
You just
there, tons of different celebrities.
There's so many
looking how he looked in that, you know, the infamous dunk contest video where he's sitting there filming.
Yeah, exactly. But that's my favorite moment, and that's part of it too, is because I was sitting with you guys, just sitting there watching it. We watched it live, and we're all of us were sitting there what the hell is going on? He is going off right now. Right.
And then just to see after the game and everything, he gave the speech, it was I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
I'm oh my God, it was insane. It was insane.
That's probably not even just one of my favorite Kobe moment is us experiencing that, but that's probably one of my favorite sports moments I've ever experienced was that moment, you know.
Even just watching it on TV, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, Kobe at this point, no, he's legendary. You know, it sucks that, you know, he's gone way too soon, but you know, he's always going to be remembered now. He's going down in NBA history and just sports history in general. You know, everybody knows Kobe.
All around the world.
Yeah.
All around the world, you know. So
all around the world.
Had to give the shout out for Kobe Day, Mamba Day.
Absolutely. Much respect. So going off of that, we will roll into the little bit of NBA news we do have here this week. Yep. Not too much coming out. of the
Don't
NBA.
have much here myself, but I do have two good tidbits here.
Okay. I did catch one thing. Luckily, there was a little bit of news that broke out tonight right before we started recording. Mike Budenholzer, coach for the Bucks, has agreed to a 3-year contract extension.
Yep. That's a good move. I mean, look what he did.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Like, he might turn into like the next Spoelstra type of thing, you know.
You never know. And like we talked about past couple weeks, they stocked up even more this free agency and everything. So they're definitely looking to run it back, and a tough NBA lineup now, like because there's a lot of more competitors now, that a lot of more stacked teams going into this coming season,
especially in that East. So they got to go up against Brooklyn healthy, most likely. Like, hopefully they all get there healthy. I'd love to see them both at full strength there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eastern Conference Finals, Bucks Nets.
Oh my God, it would be so like what we should have had last year. But what else you have, Vern, as far as NBA news?
I had the 75th. A couple of them are pretty cool because of like the reason why they chose these matchups. So like, I got Toronto versus New York. It was the first game ever played in the NBA, so that's why they had that classic matchup. Atlanta versus LA, and it was when LA set the record for 33 wins in a row, which like is a record that still stands today. Back in the day, like way back in the day. And then New York and Philly, which was Wilt's. It's on March 2nd, which was like Wilt's 100-point game.
Yeah.
So that I thought that was pretty cool too. And then they have some other just classic matchups throughout the year there. They have Knicks, Warriors, Golden State, and Boston, and then Knicks and Boston. And it's going to be pretty cool, like, to see what type of 75th anniversary stuff they do for it this year.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned a while ago about the new logo that's going to be everywhere. Like, it looks like the diamond with the 75 in it. It looks awesome. So hopefully they put like a patch on the jerseys or something, and like have a logo on the court. Like, that's going to be awesome throughout the season. Especially, I'm sure they're going to do a lot of special stuff during the playoffs too.
I don't know. I'm just really hyped for these NFL seasons because they're always, or not NFL seasons. NBA drama going on. Like, you have people going off in the early. Just why can't it be October already? I'm excited for it.
Yeah, but I mean, we got a full NFL season to start here soon. You know, that'll take your mind right off of it until it starts.
Absolutely. I did have one other thing here. Apparently Kevin Durant is getting into the weed business with weed maps. So like, Kevin Durant's just like, I'm just go, I'm doing my thing. Like, I don't. He's invested in the company. He's going to be promoting the product and everything, talking about how things are starting to loosen up. People are starting to see that it's like the devil's lettuce. You know what I mean? As far as
pretty
that
soon
goes,
you're going to see like that.
It helps athletes so much.
Like jersey as the advertisement for the Nets
There's
or something.
Maps
on the Nets jersey.
Kevin Durant's going to be, I demand it, or I'm leaving.
You're like, oh shit, we got it. All right, put them on.
We gotta do it. But I just thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That's something I didn't see at all. But yeah, that's awesome for him. I saw here Nerlens Noel is suing Rich Paul and Clutch Sports for $58 million in lost earnings.
Damn.
It has to do with his ex-agent, Rich Paul and Clutch Sports, failing to protect his interests during free agency negotiations in recent off seasons.
I wonder how that's gonna go.
Yeah. So I mean, there's going to be a big old battle in court for that. I mean, I'm sure he has some damning evidence, if he's going straight up like lawsuit with it, like he knows.
Yeah, because you usually don't hear this type of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty wild, man. Hopefully he gets his money back. They try to steal.
They try to get LeBron to $1 billion.
Going off some news we talked about before, it's official now. J.R. Smith is cleared by the NCAA to play golf.
Which is awesome. I can't wait to see him out there just doing his thing. And if he's going to be doing this, he's going to be taking it seriously. He's going to be great at it.
He's going to be showing these young bloods how to do it. He's like, I haven't played golf for years in the off season.
10 years from now, J.R. Smith's in like a PGA Tour tournament, like, he's an athlete. Why not? That'd be pretty.
Bryce
That'd be pretty sick.
DeChambeau, J.R. Smith going against. That's gonna be awesome.
God.
Right. But new Boston Celtics guard forward Josh Richardson agreed to a 1-year extension, pays $24 million over the next 2 seasons. Good for him. And apparently Memphis are shopping Dylan Brooks and Kyle Anderson. They say that they're available for the right price on the trade market. So it looks like Memphis, they're trying to like sell some pieces, try to build around Ja Morant, I guess.
Everybody is tradable for the right price.
True, except for a couple of like superstars, but that's about it.
I don't know. For other superstars, though?
You think Lakers would give up LeBron James?
If we could get Dame?
I'm sure he has a no trade clause, but still.
No, they would never do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Y'all trade Anthony Davis before trading LeBron.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's possible to trade LeBron.
Probably not. You can't even do it in 2K.
In 2K, they're like, what do you mean?
Like,
you can't do that. He just goes where
he's
he
not
wants
even
to go.
like whenever you go into the trade menus, he's not even an option. You can't even find him.
You just find him on a new team somewhere. You're like, what the?
How'd that happen? You were talking about Kevin Durant's investment. Giannis Antetokounmpo out here investing. He is now he owns a partial stake in the Milwaukee Brewers.
Nice.
So he's out here joining like the likes of like Aaron Rodgers and all that, Patrick Mahomes, going and buying little pieces of these other sports teams.
Great idea, because it just keeps going up and up and up as far as the value for these things.
Exactly. So that's awesome. Everybody's kind of like dipping their toes in the investment pool.
Yeah.
And like this dude, he's rich now. He's world champion, NBA champion, MVP.
About to buy
big ass deal.
A bunch of stock in the Brewers. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. It's Milwaukee. I'm keeping it in the house.
He's committed to the city.
Committed to the city. Just like Aaron Rodgers, he owns a part of the Bucks.
Exactly.
Celtics are going to retire Kevin Garnett's number 5 after March 13th game against the Mavs.
Okay.
So you don't really see too many like jersey retirings that much. Like,
that's what I mean. This is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Like, is it deserved?
True. Because, I mean, the last one we talked about was, like, the Mavs retiring Kobe's jersey.
Right.
Like, 24. But he never even played for him, so.
Kevin Garnett won 1 championship in Boston, I think.
Yeah.
He went to 2 finals, but you won. I don't know. Was he? I don't know. That's interesting.
I mean, Kyle Lowry, they talked about
that's
Toronto
an
said
decision.
that Kyle Lowry's number is going to be retired whenever he retires.
I could. Oh, okay. I mean, like I could see the Timberwolves. Did the Timberwolves ever retire his number?
I don't think so. I don't think the Timberwolves retired KG's number.
It's just interesting.
It is interesting because he's not like normally you would see it like Kyle Lowry, where it's like a franchise player. That dude that's been there long haul. It's like, yeah, it's interesting. So is it deserved? Well, I mean, I understand it from a Boston fan. Like, that's KG. He won his chip. Put his number in the rafter. But yeah, like what you're saying, you make a good question though. It's from an outsider point of view, with a non-biased Boston fan. It's a little questionable. Like, would you retire? Come on now.
I don't know.
Miami
I don't know.
Doesn't have 6 retired.
See, Toronto and Kyle Lowry makes more sense to me because they're a much more smaller market, and he was definitely the best that like they've ever had type of shit. Like one of the best that they've had. Like Boston is a great historic team. You just don't. It's not every day you get a jersey retired in Boston. I just that's what
Who's the
I mean.
last
like,
one? Probably like Larry Bird.
Maybe. I don't know. Not that long ago.
Not that long
That's
ago?
a good question, though. That's a good question.
Speaking of players finessing teams out of money, old Terry Rozier has agreed to a 4-year, $97 million contract extension with the Hornets. Michael Jordan out here throwing money at Scary Terry.
Let's see if he earns it, man. He was balling the last couple of years. So out there with Melo, so let's see what happens there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think he's a good piece to have with like what you said with LaMelo. And they just added a couple other pieces here in free agency. So, I mean, the Hornets were looking good last year. I think they're going to look a little bit better this year.
Absolutely, especially with all that experience now.
Mm-hmm. And your boy, we talked about a little bit last week, your boy Jared Dudley. He has now officially joined the Mavericks as an assistant coach. He said, I'm done playing. I'm going to go coach. I'm done. Call it a.
You know what?
Sorry,
I'm going to coach in LA. I'm going to the Mavs. I'm going to go coach Luka because that sounds cool.
Yeah, and apparently Broad is sad. Broad posted on Twitter about losing Jared Dudley. He's sad.
He's like, oh, man, no, I lost it. Like,
lost Caruso, lost Dudley.
Those are some glue guys, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bunch of alpha dog ball hogs out there trying to play bully ball for 82 days. Like, you know what my personal opinion on? I'll give you my personal opinion on who I think the leading scorer on the Lakers will be next year. But we can continue on here. I'll do that in the bias bubble.
This last thing I have here for the NBA, 16-year NBA veteran Rasheed Wallace, 2004 champion and 4-time All-Star, has agreed to a deal to become a new assistant coach at University of Memphis under Penny Hardaway.
Okay, interesting.
So pretty cool position for him. He's getting into the coaching game. But that's the last bit of NBA news I have here.
Okay, could roll into the NFL here.
Yes, lots and lots and lots of NFL news to talk about here, man. What do you have first?
Some bad news is Jacksonville rookie running back.
Oh yeah,
out for the season with a foot injury, man. What's his name? Travis Etienne or I can't pronounce this. You know how it is with these NFL players' last name.
Yeah,
Etienne.
Yeah, they're saying it was like it was like a mid-foot sprain. They didn't think it was too bad, and then it was like a Liz Frank injury, and it needed surgery. So yeah, it's looking like he's out for the season. That sucks, man.
That sucks, but hey, hopefully he rehabs nicely and gets back to it next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's a big blow because I mean, even though it's preseason, Jacksonville is looking kind of rough. They're looking rough in the trenches there. Their O-line is Trevor Lawrence was getting banged up last night. He was getting hit.
He was running too much. Did you see that play where he ran
the ball a little bit too long?
Boom! I mean, welcome to the NFL. We'll see how it is.
It was scary seeing Justin Fields take that hit this past weekend, man. He got his whole helmet knocked off.
I know.
Hopefully that shit's uncalled for in preseason, man. Like it's uncalled for even during regular season. Like it was blindsided, but like helmet to helmet and everything too. But like, damn, it's preseason. Chill.
Hey, they don't even care. Like it's
not at all. Not at all. Panthers and wide receiver Robbie Anderson has agreed to a two-year $29 million extension. So I mean, he's going to be sticking around with old Aaron Donald, his buddy over there.
Yeah. He's a dope wide receiver, man. He's a great addition to that team. So keep him sticking around there. Like I told you, I think the Panthers will be a lot better this year.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Madden 22 just came out. They already did like the season sim to see who's going to be in the Super Bowl, and apparently it's the Chiefs and the Panthers.
We'll see what happens there.
But yeah, I agree. Robbie Anderson is kind of a underrated receiver. Like he's someone that's not bad at getting fantasy because he's getting his catches. He's getting looked at. He's fast. He can get separation. He's a decent receiver.
He's really the best wide receiver on the team. At the end of the day.
They just got rid of what's his name, DJ Moore.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he's on Washington now.
Mm-hmm. You see the Cole Beasley quarantine?
Yes. Infamous anti-vaxxer Cole Beasley is in COVID protocol quarantine. for being a close contact. It's since he isn't vaxxed, he has to wait I think it's 5 days or something, 10 days.
Yeah, 5 days.
That. Yeah, and there's somebody else on a different team that we'll talk about here in your bias bubble that also kind of went through the same thing. Different situation altogether. It was kind of a misunderstanding in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cole Beasley and I think a trainer and another player have to sit out for 5 days. They have to stay home. So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of it was bound to happen. And I mean, that just kind of proves this is what could happen. If this happens during a regular season and more of the team gets it, that can lead to, forfeiting games.
It's gonna happen throughout the whole year. We're gonna be seeing this all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we'll be okay. I mean, we were able to get through the 2020 season.
Somehow.
So I think we'll be able to get through this one, especially with having fans back and everything. I think we'll be okay. I mean, but you're definitely going to be seeing it though. Their players are going to miss games because of it, I'm sure.
It's only been a handful so far, and I think it'll only be a handful going forward as well. But just throughout the regular season, you'll see the numbers go up there.
Yeah. And this is some bit of controversial news on NFL Twitter right now and amongst the NFL community. Bears coach Matt Nagy tells reporters Justin Fields is going to start the final preseason game because Andy Dalton will sit because he's starting week 1.
I mean,
man,
I don't know if he's trying to lose his job or if he's I don't know what this man's plan is now. Why would you draft him if you're not going to start him? Do you really think he's not ready, or are you really trying to he must have that the front office convinced that this is a 2-year
project
here.
Yeah,
because,
but I mean, he's looking great in camp. He's looking great in the preseason games so far. There's really no evidence showing you why he shouldn't start, and plenty of evidence showing you why Andy Dalton shouldn't start as well. He's out here throwing picks and stuff. He's staying in the pocket. He's a statue.
Maybe they just want to give it as much time as they can. When Andy Dalton's playing like poop, and just go from there.
Yeah. I guess it would be easier.
That's what they should do.
It'd be easier to pull Dalton for Justin Fields than it would to be pulling Justin Fields for Andy Dalton.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess I can see it from there, but I mean, a lot of evidence we're seeing right now kind of makes Justin Fields look like the best QB, like what you're saying. He's going to be the best rookie QB by the end of the season. It's starting to look that way.
What day was that? Back in April 13th.
Yeah, and I mean it's really starting to look that way at this point. He's risen above everybody else as far as rookie QBs go so far.
I mean, man, we'll see what happens.
Speaking of other QBs, Josh Rosen found his 5th team in 4 years.
Where did he land?
On the Atlanta Falcons.
Great. Oh man, I don't know what the Falcons are doing right now. They're in between rebuild and trying to save Matt Ryan.
They have a new coach. They have a new system. They decided to keep Matt Ryan over Julio Jones.
They got no Julio, Matt Ryan.
You got Calvin
he ain't Tom Brady.
Is your number 1.
Calvin Ridley is a number 1 wide receiver, but
and now you drafted Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, that's a good pickup too, but you need a lot more than that.
So I mean, they got to worry about that O-line and that defense. And I don't think they really have much. They don't have any running backs either, noteworthy running backs that I can think of. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, Matt Ryan can sling it. We all know that, but can they win games? That's the real question.
Tom Brady's division anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Old Tampa Tom. Heading on over to New Orleans, where it's looking like it might be Jameis Winston's job over there as the starting quarterback. He balled out last night against the Jaguars.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and a little quote that kind of slipped by from Taysom Hill. He said, "I want to play quarterback in this league, and if New Orleans don't view me that way, well, then I have to leave." That's really where we're at.
Oh shit! Out of nowhere. What the hell? I'm
Taysom
going
Hill's
with
like,
Jameis Winston. He's like, oh yeah.
I
Oh
thought
yeah.
I was going to be the starting quarterback. Was Drew left? Y'all went scoop Jameis. What's going on here?
Y'all did this shit for years. Led Taysom Hill on for years that he was gonna be a starting quarterback. And then here comes Jameis
They even
Winston.
paid him decent money too. Like he was going to be the dude to take the keys. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
And now it's
good
going to
for
crumble to
Jameis Winston.
pieces. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to be a starting.
Is gonna be forced to play time.
Oh man, like I kind of feel bad for the dude.
Me too. He is pretty clutch.
He is pretty clutch in game situation. He hasn't looked great here and through the preseason games, but I mean that's all vanilla offenses and stuff right now too.
Not a bad backup to have. So it is
absolutely
what it is.
not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And they could still use him as that gadget dude. I'm sure they're gonna still use him. It's not like Jameis is gonna be that dude every time.
Right.
I got a little bit of news out of the Desean Watson's camp. Little Desean news.
What's going on, man?
There's a report from Charles Robinson that Desean Watson could play the entire 2021 NFL season. Watson needs to be interviewed by the NFL before he'd be eligible for the exempt list. However, that will not happen as long as Watson's criminal case is under investigation. And yes, they're not all civil. So, I mean, and another thing here is the FBI is investigating whether one of Tony Busby's clients had committed possible extortion or demanding money from Desean Watson, saying that they would what they would do if he didn't pay it. If proven, this would be a huge win for the Watson camp. So there's already evidence that they're trying, these chicks are out here trying to extort him. Like there's text messages and stuff. So I mean, so it's kind of looked like it's kind of right in the middle right now. Like what's gonna happen? Like it's not really leaning either way right now.
Oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen, and I don't know. I doubt he'll play every single game because
I doubt it too.
There's only 2 weeks. There's only like 2 weeks left. They're not gonna finish those cases by then.
Yeah, I can't imagine so. I feel like this is probably not going to be solved even till next year, probably.
Potentially.
Some crazy other news here, man. I told you it was going to happen. Carson Wentz somehow is out here practicing, fully. He's out here in helmet and pads, doing walkthroughs and running and throwing. Like how?
He's fine.
5 weeks after or something after having surgery, this dude's out here practicing, ready to go.
I hope he don't overwork it. I hope he takes it easy.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're probably playing to him like, listen, you could practice, but you ain't doing nothing other than practice.
Right. Just practice. You're not playing no games.
You're not playing any preseason games. You're going week 1 and that's it. Which is awesome, man. I feel I'm happy for Carson. He also was in an interview. They asked him about it, like how he feels, like if he felt comfortable going into week 1, not 100%. And he said something along the lines of I've played through worse. So that's what he said. He said, I played through worse. He's like, this is not a big deal.
It's nothing new to me.
Damn. Carson out here like Wolverine. He healing like crazy now.
I had some interesting stuff here. There was a poll apparently for the most untrustworthy NFL GM.
I had this on my news too. Go ahead. Who's the most untrustworthy GM in the NFL, Vern?
Howie Roseman. That shit is crazy. They voted it. Why would they even have this poll? That's so bold. Did
you see the quotes?
No.
Oh, bro. Yeah, it's among I forget how many it said. It said it was like seven general managers and front office leaders that they kind of interviewed and stuff among GMs. But they said he's always playing both sides at all times. He's not dishonest. He's a hedger.
He's always playing both sides. He
He's
got
a
that
hedger.
from Mac.
Always make sure he has a side deal.
Yeah.
Another one here is Howie will do what Howie needs to do. I say that with tremendous reverence, but I don't trust him. There's two more here. This is easy. He tells you one thing and does the opposite. He can tell you, yeah, you can tell him something and say it stays with us, and then 3 or 4 people are hitting me up about what we discussed. It doesn't make him a bad guy, but there's no transparency. The last one here is why? Because he's Howie. I would have said former Washington team president Bruce Allen, but he's gone.
Next up, Howie.
Next up, Howie. It seems like Howie Roseman is not very well liked, but somehow he's able to get these deals done. And I'm guessing it's just because it's business at the end of the day.
Both sides.
Exactly. Where he's given the other team a deal that he knows they need. But in the same, he's getting something he wants in return, where it's not completely, it's not unfair, but it's all right, you kind of screwing us out of it, but it makes sense.
That's interesting, though, man, that poll came out and they're just shitting on Howie there. I couldn't believe it. I know,
dude. I saw that today. I was like, oh, I wonder what Howie thinks. I'm sure next press conference, I'll ask him about that.
It's yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trust me.
You seen what I've done? I would trust you.
These Eagles, I wouldn't trust me.
I'm sure Nick Sirianni doesn't trust me. We just hired him.
I don't trust him.
I don't trust him. You think I'm the one that wanted to hire him? Oh my gosh. NFL squads had to get their rosters down to 80 today. As we speak.
Lots of cuts.
There were some cuts. Here in the next 2 weeks, it has to be cut down to 53. So, I mean, you're going to be seeing a ton of different people getting cut.
Right. Teams thinning down, man. Got to get that final roster ready.
Yeah. And the NFL informed clubs today that effective immediately locker room access while players are present on game day will be limited to 50 people and no media unless they are club affiliated. And it has pretty much everything to do with COVID. The less people in the locker room around the players, the better.
Yeah. I mean, good idea. Try to just keep it as limited as possible. Just keep everybody spaced out and everything.
Yeah. NFL suspended Browns wide receiver Davian Davis without pay for the first 2 games 2021 season for violating substance abuse policy.
Interesting. What was it for? Did you just say violating policy?
Yeah, just violating substance abuse policy.
2 games, man. Sit it out.
Stay off the weed. The Seahawks acquired cornerback John Reed from the Texans in exchange for a 2023 7th-round pick.
Okay.
So that's one trade that's happened here in 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Bolstering up a little bit there.
Yeah. So, I mean, Seahawks, they looked bad the second half of the season, I feel, on defense. The first they were actually doing well, but man, they really fell apart. They really kind of went out to fix some holes on the defensive side during this offseason.
I really hope it ends up happening because Russ deserves to get another good year here. I want to see him win the MVP
too, man. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I was going to say.
I want to see him win the MVP.
Yeah, win MVP and possibly make him run in another Super Bowl. Right. He deserves it, man. He's such one of the nicest guys in the NFL, it seems, and he has the damn offense around him now to do it.
I'm gonna leave.
It's stacked.
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, this whole season. I'm gonna leave. And then Aaron Rodgers is wait a minute, you can do that? Okay.
Tom Brady
and then
left
just took it to a whole nother level where he's just nah, you're I might retire.
I might retire. They're
and it's you know whose fault it is? It's all the front office's fault too. They're not consulting me on anything.
These quarterbacks are crazy.
They're crazy. Yeah, Russ was kind of letting his agent and everything do the talking, and out Aaron Rodgers just what y'all want to know?
What y'all want to know? I had some problems with these motherfuckers.
Straight G.
They ain't shit. Yes.
Aaron Rodgers is that dude coming off an MVP season 2. He's you know what? I'll leave. I'll just retire. I don't care.
Jordan Love? Huh. He's just
go ahead. We talked about Carson Wentz. I did have one thing about him. He sent $250,000 to Haiti to help for the earthquake fund. I saw that and I was like, that's pretty damn nice, Carson, out there donating.
Nice. I saw the Patriots sent like a plane full of supplies down there.
I saw that too, man. That's awesome.
Like, yeah, definitely cool.
Really cool. Like JJ Watt did, like he sent a whole plane down in like water a couple years ago for like a hurricane fund.
Mhm.
Like it's awesome to see like these players go out and do stuff like that, and even like the actual teams themselves, like you said, the Patriots.
Right. Just trying to help out however they can.
Yeah. Roster cut here. Chiefs released a few players, including former Cowboys first round DE Taco Charlton and veteran safety Will Parks.
Peace. Probably end up on a new team if they clear waivers. We'll see what happens.
I think Will Parks definitely will. I think you'll see him on another team. Taco, I'm sure someone will pick him up. You know?
If not now, maybe later in the year.
Yeah, exactly. Vikings expected to bring back former Pro Bowl DE Everson Griffin after a stint with the Lions.
That's all right. That's not a bad move. He knows the system.
I don't know if you saw, this was actually kind of crazy. This kind of a little bit of controversy. Las Vegas Raiders called the Bears about getting Khalil Mack back.
I know. I saw this. They're like, so remember when we traded you Khalil Mack?
We know who won the trade now. It obviously was the Bears.
That's ridiculous. Like, how did they even let that slip out? The news.
I don't know. Yeah, and apparently the Bears just weren't having it. They weren't even
Bears are like
willing to listen. It's like that meme with that dude getting in the car, just like, like the Bears just laughing.
Oh my god,
man! These Raiders, they're a mess.
John Gruden's like, you know what? I might have fucked up, man.
It goes to the owner. Just, you know what? We might have fucked up getting rid of Khalil Mack.
Oh my god!
You think the Cowboys will give us Amari back?
Oh my god, no. I don't know. His contract's getting up there. The Cowboys, they're gonna have a rough year this year, man.
They're gonna have a rough year, and I think over the next couple years with the cap and everything, I don't know how they're going to end up keeping all these players.
We'll see, but I think that's Washington's division to lose at this point.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. Some would say that.
Some would say that.
Some would say that.
Listen,
I would still take the Cowboys over
of
the Washington no names.
Even with Dak's recent injury?
If he's playing, yes. If he's not playing, then no.
That's what I mean.
Because that is a bit of news that we wanted to talk about as well, is the report came out that Dak Prescott's probably not going to be 100% this whole season. Between his ankle and his shoulder injuries and everything, it seems like he's on track to start week 1, Jerry Jones says. But apparently he's not going to be at 100% this whole season. Especially
it'll take him a year or two. Like I was listening to something on the radio today. They were talking about, remember Tom Brady after the year he tore his ACL. Like it took him a year, and then the next year he won MVP in 2010. Like he 1 year, 2009, they didn't play great. 2010 he won the MVP. Unanimous. I think it was the first ever NFL unanimous MVP.
Yeah. Or you can be like Wentz and you have your MVP season and then have that season-ending injury, and then you know what happened from there. But
get traded to the
spotlight. Spotlight stolen by the backup, and then not too bad the next 2 seasons, and then a terrible 3rd season after that. But
Carson Wentz heard them reports about Nick Foles possibly coming back, and then went and found like some type of fountain of youth to like get his bones to heal faster or something. You know,
something
what I mean?
like that.
It scared him into getting healthy.
he went to like a different country to get like the
stem cell
shot into him or something. Yeah.
He's like, come on, man. Come on, doc. I need to heal by tomorrow. I need you to heal me tomorrow.
Fly on over here, bring a briefcase full of money or whatever. We good. That's what he did during his
bills. It is what it is. He's back out there.
And now he's out here like looking brand new somehow. Speaking of someone that we were talking about crazy injuries, now another one happened. This is also the reason leading up to the Josh Rosen signing for the Falcons. Falcons backup QB AJ McCarron suffered torn ACL in the preseason game.
No.
Yeah,
Damn.
he's out this season. So that led to them picking up Josh Rosen, who was recently released. Yeah, so I mean, AJ McCarron, he's been in the league for a minute now, and have an ACL injury like that is definitely not good, man.
It's gonna be hard to come back from.
It's gonna be really hard to come back from. And another injury here after losing Carl Lawson, it was season-ending torn Achilles. The Jets are now looking for ways to acquire pass rushers. So the Jets have an injury as well. I have a couple more here. There's been a lot of them dropping in training camp or in season games.
Not good.
Ravens linebacker LJ Fort tore his ACL, out for the season. Bengals rookie DE Joseph Osai set to undergo surgery for a meniscus injury, likely out for the season. So that's a rookie out for the season, man.
Another one,
man. Let me see here. I'll just say the Eagles tight end Jason Kroom, he is back up. He was carted off with a knee injury, and he's going to be out for the season. So, I mean, I don't know if he's a guy that would have really made the roster going into the season, but still, you hate to see that happen, man.
Especially if he's not going to be a guy that makes the roster.
Exactly. And then you're like, all right, now I don't have any money coming through now, unless I don't know how that works. Like, because I guess he's technically still on the roster, so I don't know if he's still getting paid.
Some type of health insurance type,
something like an insurance policy like that or something. Browns linebacker Jacob Phillips tore his biceps tendon, is most likely out for the season. It's crazy, man. Like, they drop in like flies.
I don't understand it. It's crazy.
Yeah. This isn't really like super crazy. But I don't know if you saw that Mark Andrews, Ravens tight end. He left Ravens practice on a cart, then got an IV and collapsed. And then like they had to I don't know if they used smelling salts, but like the ambulance came in, got him. And then like they didn't take him to the hospital because they got him awake. But apparently everything's fine now. Like he's fine. Like he underwent testing and everything, and I guess he's fine. I don't know if he was just dehydrated or what was going on, but yeah, like he had an injury and then he came out and just like collapsed. Like he got carted off and collapsed. So there was a little scare there at practice, and apparently they held him out for a couple of days after that to make sure he was good.
Right.
But I think he's back at practice now, but that was pretty crazy, man. Like
I didn't see
a high profile tight end, like player like Mark Andrews.
I hope everything's okay with that. You don't want to mess with that. That's a scary situation there.
Exactly. Like who knows, like underlying health problems or something. Like get some testing, like some like LaMarcus Aldridge stuff, like NBA.
Exactly.
Or like Chris Bosh, something like that,
Right.
Jets pass rusher Carl Lawson, one of the big free agent signings we talked about. He tore his Achilles, out for the season.
That's such a painful injury. It sounds like, it just sounds like, I don't even know. I wouldn't want to walk. I would want to be like wheelchaired around in a cast.
Yeah, not at all. And then you gotta come in like Pat McAfee talked about, like when you come into the facility, once you're a little bit better, you have to come in on them scooters where you're just pushing yourself with one foot, and it's like you just feel everybody watching you.
Just like, God damn it.
And we talked about Mark Andrews. At one point last week, the Ravens had 5 of their top 6 wide receivers not practice due to injuries for the week. And their 2 starting tackles were also not playing. They were hurt as well. I think they've since come back, but that's pretty concerning when almost your whole wide receiver core was hurt.
What was it, like one dude out there in the drill line doing drills? Like
I guess, but it says like they're 5 of their top 6. So I don't know if they just had other practice squad receivers that were out there. Yeah. But I guess like the 5 that would make the roster or whatever, they were just they were not out there, man. It didn't say what injuries they were, but apparently it wasn't too serious since they're back out there practicing.
Right.
Let me see here. The Packers unveiled the 50s classic uniform that's going to debut in Week 7.
These jerseys are awesome. I really like the way they look, to be honest with you.
They
That
look pretty
like
cool.
gold on the numbers, it looks so cool.
It
That
does.
green, that shade of green.
It looks very what is it, Oregon?
Yeah, it does, but it looks Packers as well. You know, it looks Green Bay to me.
Yeah, it looks very Green Bay, and it looks very old school, just like the solid colors, like
Right.
the bright yellow. I think they're definitely. I'm looking forward to see all these other teams like come out with their retro uniforms. You know.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait. I hope the Patriots use the red jersey with the white helmet.
Oh yeah, that would be cool, man. It's been a minute since we've seen those red jerseys.
Right.
This is a quote from Andy Dalton out of the horse's mouth. He said, "Justin Fields is going to have a great career, but right now it's my time."
That sounds like something the evil kid from A Christmas Story would say. Ridiculous. Right now, it's my time. I saw today Andy Dalton has not had a Pro Bowl season since 2016. What do you mean right now it's your time?
He said, "Right
Your
now,
time
my time, man."
is Justin Fields all day.
It is Justin Fields all day.
Sorry, Red Rider.
Larry Fitzgerald said about his NFL future, "I don't have the urge to play right now. So I just don't feel like playing,
done.
man."
He's truly done.
It's truly done. It doesn't seem like Larry Fitz is going to be back.
Hey, that's all right.
But that's all that I have here as far as NFL news. I don't know if you have anything else here, Vern.
Got one more thing. The top 5 fantasy running backs.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Top 5 fantasy week.
So, number 5, I got Zeke. I think no matter what happens with Dak, Zeke's going to have a good year because especially if Dak's having trouble, he's going to be relying on him.
Yeah. Just needs to clean up
if
them fumbles from last year.
He needs to clean up them fumbles and stay healthy throughout the year, and he could be a monster this year. Top 5. Maybe not top 3, but top 5. Okay.
I can see that.
Alvin Kamara, number 4.
Absolutely.
Gotta put him in there. I saw some lists that had him down as low as like 7 or 8, and I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, I did leave. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say who I left off the list. I'm not gonna spoil it. But Alvin Kamara definitely would be a great one, especially because there's a huge question mark on New Orleans quarterback situation as well.
Yeah, and with Michael Thomas being out, like who knows how long he's going to be out, or even if he gets traded, who knows?
And then Kamara is the best player on the team,
by far.
just like that. So number 3, Dalvin Cook.
Ooh.
More of the same. I was a firm believer in Dalvin Cook a couple years ago. That he got hurt with that season-ending injury.
Yeah,
but then he came back and proved that like he is that shit.
Yeah,
like,
kind of like an AP season where he came back from that injury and just like tore it up.
Exactly. So I think he could have a top 3 running back performance this year.
Definitely.
Number 2, the man CMC Christian McCafferty, only because he's coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
So let's see what level he's at this season.
Yeah.
We really don't know. But we know what he can do. So I'd have him still as high as number 2.
Yeah, and I mean, they got Robbie Anderson there, but they don't have DJ Moore, so they don't really have the somewhat elite wide receiver core that they had, I would say.
Right.
But
and only
so
Sam
now,
Darnold.
Yeah, and Sam Darnold. So now they're gonna really have to rely on CMC here and there.
Exactly. And then number 1, Alex has fully convinced me that Derrick Henry is the best running back in the league. Okay, so like hands down, like he's gonna get so many touchdowns this year. He's gonna go for
another 2K.
Exactly. It's gonna be insane. Like you just can't stop him. But he said he's perfectly healthy. He's fine. He's just gonna be running people over.
This dude, I don't know. Like he's like LeBron. He's one big muscle, bro. I don't know. Exactly. It's amazing this dude hasn't had like some sort of injury so far. Knock on wood. But like this dude out here crushing it.
Mm-hmm. So that's my top 5 there.
I have no problem with that list, man. That completely makes sense.
But that's all I had there as far as NFL.
Okay. I have a little bit of baseball news. We don't talk about baseball too much. Famous trading cards, Topps
I saw this.
announced after 70 years that they are out of the MLB trading card game. They said no. Fanatics is going to be taking over.
It's interesting. Like, why? After 70 years?
I don't know. Maybe it's just not as big of an industry as it once was, especially with like NFTs and stuff.
I feel like it's coming back, though.
You think?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I don't really know too much about the trading card game.
Those things are definitely going to just keep rising in value because the longer time goes on, the more and more rare it's going to be. You know?
Yeah.
For the
especially like
shit.
Yeah, especially if like at one point they're just like, all right, we're not going to do trading cards or whatever anymore.
Exactly, especially if they stop making them all together.
Yeah. So I mean,
imagine like the world in like 2050 or 2060, where like a trading card is something you like never ever see. It's just like sitting on a shelf at an antique shop. That shit's like worth like $100. You know what I mean? What the hell's that? Oh, that's an old baseball card from 2011. That shit would be interesting, man. I'm just saying.
This is a pretty crazy news within the MLB. Now, I don't know if you really have heard of Tyler Skaggs. He played for the Angels. He recently overdosed on fentanyl. But there is a huge thing going on right now. The feds are involved, and they said that the feds are alleging that Angels employee Eric Kay was running a drug operation within the Angels organization and using Tyler Skaggs as the middleman. And Kay allegedly distributed opioids to at least 6 Angels players, according to court docs.
That's crazy. Does this have anything to do with the one from a couple years ago where the player was like found on the boat dead?
Oh, I forgot about that. No, I haven't seen anything about that connecting at all. Was that an Angels player too? I
think so.
Now that like you say, I didn't even connect the two. That's crazy. That might come up here. But
that's unfortunate, man. That's crazy. In an organization like that.
Yeah, and there's like a drug ring going on.
How does that go unnoticed?
Exactly. Skaggs called the Angels clubhouse a toxic environment that pressured players to play through pain. Players who missed games due to injuries were called pussies and ridiculed. Tyler quickly realized that he was expected to pitch even when he was hurt, so he resorted to opioids and was addictive. So he's kind of pushed into it by, the organization. Texts show ex-Angels employee lured alleged drug dealers to Angel Stadium with promises of team memorabilia and tickets to obtain pills for Angel players.
Wow.
Right.
That's crazy. They're going to be going to jail for a long time on that.
Yeah. Another thing here, the government says it is evidence that will show a drug dealer delivered the counterfeit pills that killed Tyler Skaggs to an employee at Angel Stadium the same day that Skaggs' fatal overdose. The evidence is not being publicly disclosed at this time, but it's being held back for trial. But like, it's just went even further, man. Like, there's so many people involved as of right now.
That's crazy. I didn't see that, but I haven't really. Oh man.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that's some crazy news. Like, we have to talk about that shit. Like, that is wild, man. So going on into some different news here, some college news, because we're coming up on the college season. Big Ten football announced if a team is unable to play due to COVID, they're forfeiting the game.
Just forfeiting and giving a win to the other team?
Yep, just giving a win to the other team.
Nice.
Now that's if like they don't have enough eligible players.
Right.
And another thing here, the ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12 announced the formation of an alliance on Tuesday. The joint announcement emphasized the future evolution of college athletics and scheduling.
Wait, what conferences?
ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12.
Interesting. Going up against the SEC is going to build a powerhouse. It's going to be like turning into AFL versus NFL, and they're going to be a merger, and it's going to, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what it's going to end up being.
Yeah, and all that they released is that they called it the future evolution of college athletics and scheduling. So that's all really that's been released as of right with the announcement. Okay. So who the hell knows what that means and what it entails?
Right.
But that's all the news that I have. as far as like all the different leagues, NBA, NFL. So you know what time it is. We can kind of roll into the bias bubbles here, Vern.
yep.
So what you got this week, man?
For my Lakers, apparently Russell Westbrook was out there throwing the first pitch for the Dodgers on some positive LA baseball news. You know,
Getting out into the LA world right now.
Getting into the LA world, you know, soaking it all up, and I'm loving to see it. I actually think Westbrook will be our top scorer next year. He would be probably the primary ball handler, and he'll be dishing it to LeBron, who then he'll get open again, and LeBron will give it back. And you know how LeBron's been facilitating lately.
This should take a lot of pressure off of Braun.
I think a ton.
Because normally the past couple seasons, LeBron's been that point guard for you guys. You know, the offense been running through him. Well, now you got Westbrook, who's damn triple-double machine out here. You can have the offense run through him.
Westbrook and AD will be our two best players this season here.
Okay.
I did have that Jared Dudley.
Ended
up going to the Mavs there, and then Mamba Day.
By the way, I know I'm a LeBron hater, but I'm not gonna hate. I'm gonna make it known now. I'm not gonna be the one hating on LeBron if like his stats dip or something because of this. Because I'm gonna know why. It's because the team's being run differently. It's a whole different system.
He's LeBron's going to need to score still, but he's not going to be getting 20-some points probably.
Exactly. They'll be spread out a lot more, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not going to be that dude.
I got you.
So I know when it happens, there's going to be a ton. Even the pundits on these channels, has LeBron fallen off? Has LeBron all this? You know how it's going to be.
No, he's trying to win a championship.
Just trying to make like these headlines, like Max Kellerman saying Tom Brady falling off a cliff every year.
Right? Exactly. Max Kellerman fell off the cliff before Tom Brady did.
Yeah, exactly. But go ahead. Sorry.
As far as my Patriots here, we have Cam Newton out. Okay.
5 days
for a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Apparently getting a COVID test at a non-NFL facility, and I'm just like, what?
He thought that because I guess he was supposed to get one anyway, so he just thought like getting one wherever he was going.
He was like, yeah, what? Cool.
Was gonna count.
But the positive side of this is Mac Jones has been getting a huge workload in practice. Huge workload. He's been looking great out there. You know, he balled up against the Eagles.
Yeah, he did, man. We'll talk about that too. I saw they asked Belichick first thing today or yesterday. They're like, do you think with Cam being out for these 5 days is going to open up an opportunity for Mac Jones to succeed or whatever? He said,
like, it is.
It is.
Yeah. Like, that's just like the same as like yeah.
Sure.
Of course it is. But like, it's nice to see because he's just getting all these first team reps.
Oh, yeah, man. I think that definitely helps.
Exactly. So Cam is coming back on Thursday by the time this airs here, but Mac Jones is going to be practicing all week with the first team reps. It's just nothing but good experience for him.
Yeah. And we could talk about the ass whooping, the shellacking you guys handed the Eagles during the preseason game the other day. It was like 35-0.
35-0. I was very happy about it. It was just a preseason game, but I was very happy about it.
Make it known.
Boys look nice.
Your boys look very nice, man. Cam was balling. Mac Jones, Cam looked great, dude. Like
Cam was throwing some great down the field passes, that were surprising me. Even I was like, "Oh, we could throw that far," you know, like just because of the last season, you know.
Yes,
but it was against the backups.
It was. None of the Eagles starters played. I think the only one that really did was Steven Nelson, who we just picked up. He was out there getting some reps. But yeah, none of our starters played. Jalen Hurts was supposed to play, and then he came down with a stomach virus before the game. They pulled him. He's back at practice the past 2 days. But yeah, he had a stomach virus, and apparently when he was gonna play, they were gonna have the starters in. They were gonna be playing the starters.
But then they were just like,
yeah. As soon as they saw Jalen, they pulled Jalen, and then they pulled the starters. Granted, I think even if he would have played a little bit, and you guys still would have stomped our ass. So I don't think it would have made a difference.
It was just nice seeing everything clicking.
We just probably might not have had a goose egg on the board.
Because all I see is stuff on practice film, like just pictures and videos of Patriots practice. So seeing it all come together at a game was nice. It's just I can't wait for the season to start. Exactly.
Yeah, mine's the opposite because I see how fucking great we're doing in practice, but the preseason games is like we're barely seeing anything. We suck.
Well, this next preseason game we have with the Giants, and so we have a joint practice with them. And I'm more worried about fights during this one than I was with the Eagles, because the Giants have already had brawls and shit, right? Yeah. They already had fights in their own camp.
Rowdy bunch.
They're a rowdy bunch.
They're a rowdy bunch over
They're
there.
They're gonna be trying to fight my Patriots and get people suspended and shit. I can't have it.
Can't have it.
It's the final game of the season here for the preseason. Stephon Gilmore. We got news on him.
Okay? News.
Bill Belichick said he's working extremely hard, and he sees him in the facility all the time. So he's not necessarily holding out. He's just dealing with a shoulder injury. So, or dealing with an injury. I forget what it is, but a calf or something. I forget what it is there. I would have to look it up, but he's just dealing with the injury. He's not practicing right now, but he does see him in the facility. So that's good news. Gilmore's around. He's in the building. So, and then final news I got here is the problem child, N'Keal Harry.
He's out for a little bit of time, right?
4 weeks. How are we going to trade somebody that's out 4 weeks? How are we going to use this dude if he's out 4 weeks? I just don't understand how the situation keeps getting worse and worse. It's such a roller coaster.
Looks like he's going to start the season with y'all, though. Like, he's going to be there.
He's going to be on the roster at least, but it's such a roller coaster, man.
That's crazy.
I don't know what's going on. But I don't think he ends the season in New England.
Oh, okay.
But that's all. That's all I got there.
All right. First things here, I just had a little bit of a Flyers stat here, since I don't really have too much Flyers news lately. Claude Giroux, my captain, who's been around in Philadelphia for a long, long time. And so long that Claude Giroux is Philadelphia's longest tenured active athlete amongst all their Philadelphia sports teams. He made his NHL debut with the Flyers on February 19th, 2008. And the Phillies had not yet won a playoff. Phillies had not yet won a playoff game since '93. Eagles had not yet drafted Deshaun Jackson, and Andre Miller was the Sixers starting point guard at the time.
Oh man, even before AI.
But yeah, like I thought that was crazy. Like, and he's still out there playing. That's why he's a captain, man. And he's almost up there as like the team lead in points, and he's definitely the longest tenured player. And I mean, he had a great season last year, so he's still putting in that work. I've been in the league this long.
Right. He's like definitely the most famous one to me. Like when I think about him,
that's the first jersey I bought, man, when I came to the Flyers. Giroux.
Right.
So going into the Eagles here, we talked about Kerryon Johnson last week, who we kind of waived him. He went through waivers and he came back to the Eagles. He reverted back to the Eagles now, but he's on IR with an injury as of right now. So I mean, he's there.
That might have been like some type of like cap thing, that they did there. I don't know.
Yeah. Eagles tight end Tyree Jackson fractured a bone in his back during practice. It's a non-surgical injury, but a typical 8 to 10 week recovery. Could be an IR candidate. Yeah, that sucks because this dude, he has been amazing in camp leading up to that, dude. He's like 6'6" tight end. He's super fucking tall and he's jacked. He looks like a Ron Gronkowski kind of, just super tall. And he was looking like he was probably like going to be that dude for us this year. Like maybe drop Rodgers and bring him in, or if we trade Zach Ertz, he was going to be that dude. But it seems like all of our backup tight ends who were like kind of trying out for the team have gotten injured. So it's looking like Zach Ertz is going to be on the Eagles this year.
He's being forced to be on the Eagles by like destiny. It's like forced in his hand.
It seems like he doesn't mind, at least in the public, because
he's just like, all right.
Zach Ertz has led in completions during training camp so far this year. Like he's been one of Jalen Hurts' favorite targets.
Right.
So he's developed a bond with him as well, and he's been staying after practice with Goddard and Hurts as well, and some of the wide receivers. So it seems like he's still putting in the work. He's still there. He's doing his thing.
Right. He's not just doing it and showing up because he has to.
Yeah, and it's definitely looking like now he's probably not going to get traded. He's probably going to be there next year. He'll probably, I don't know, go with Patriots. He's a free agent after this season.
Hey, as long as it don't cost Belichick's grandchildren.
It won't. Yeah, you get them for cheap probably. According to Jeff McClain, Eagles received trade calls regarding left tackle, former 2019 first-round pick Andre Dillard. I am all for getting this dude out unless they move him to guard, because this dude, man, we wasted a first-round pick on this dude. He trash. He buns.
He's buns.
Like, he's buns. He's like a turnstile, man. Like Jordan Mailata, the rugby player who's been our project player for the past like 5 years.
Right.
He is probably he's by far getting the left tackle job right now, and a lot of the news around the leagues are saying that he could be like one of the top left tackles in the game this year.
As a rugby player, man,
he's looking that fucking great. This dude that never played football ever.
Yeah.
He just played rugby, comes to the NFL, learning football for the first time, and now he's like he might be one of the premier left tackles. Hey, and man, with a banged up, I hope so too, because with our banged up line over the past couple years, we really need like a solid player there.
Right.
Jalen Hurts with the little stomach virus, he's back at practice, and he's been balling in practice, dude. Like today, we had a joint practice against the Jets, and apparently, like we demolished them. Like we were getting turnovers on defense like crazy, and then like Jalen Hurts was just bombing. Like he had a 50-yard pass to Goddard, and then he had like a 60-yard pass to like Travis Fulgham today, dude.
Damn,
dude, he's balling day, and he had a nice like 30-yard run too. And he's out there dancing and stuff. He's looking like he's ready.
So he's feeling fine.
He's feeling great. And they had Jalen Reagor did a little interview today, and he talked about like on the team bus going to the practice at the Jets facility, like the whole time Jalen Hurts was sitting there listening to music, and then like he just like took his headphones off and walked up to the wide receiver. He's like, I'm in my mode. And then he's like, then we knew something was gonna happen. And then he went out and balled, and I'm like, dude, Jalen Hurts, like I'm all in on Jalen Hurts right now, because it seems like he's comfortable, he's feeling himself. Sirianni's out here saying rent's due in his press conferences, like like he's using Jalen's quotes. Like this dude, like everybody knows Jalen's the number one QB right now.
That's good though, because it's a big question mark for my Patriots right now, who the number one quarterback is. But like you have at least all the focus on Jalen Hurts, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel you.
Finally, it's not a QB competition in Philadelphia as of right now. And I mean, I'm hoping we have a successful year. Even if we don't, I think it's a successful year in regards to whether we're seeing if Jalen Hurts can be that dude or not.
Right.
You know, that shows us, I mean, we might have 3 first-rounders next year. That'll tell us, all right, who knows what's going on with Watson. But do we want to draft a QB? What do we want to do? Like,
right. So this season, it's all his. He's got the keys.
Exactly. This season is pretty much just seeing if this dude can be the franchise QB. And as of right now, man, it seems like everybody's bought in. Like the whole team is bought in that Jalen is that dude. Like he's the captain. So I mean, which is odd, because I mean, I feel like I've never got this sort of energy when Carson was there, you know, out of the players and out of like just the organization in general. And I talked about it before, like different teams, beat writers are saying like how he sticks out among the players and everything. So I thought that was awesome. And before I move on here, I did have a little bit of stats. Jalen Hurts has only started 4 games in the NFL in his career. And he is one of 7 players to record multiple 300-plus passing yards and 60-plus rush yard games in 4 games of his career.
So he's got a lot more ahead of him there.
Yeah, he has 2 of them. And Dante Culpepper has 2, Rich Gannon has 2, Donovan McNabb has 2, Michael Vick has 3, Russell Wilson has 3, and Steve Young has 4.
Damn, that's a hell of a list to be on.
Yeah, and I mean, he's only had 4 career starts in the NFL. So, I mean, dude has the talent. And I think with a full offseason now, as he's taking first team reps and training, dude, I think he's going to be awesome, especially with Devontae Smith out there, who I am like overly impressed with. Like the 2 bright sides of that terrible game against you guys was Alex Singleton, our linebacker, who was all over the goddamn place, and Devontae Smith, who just seemed like he was shaking every single one of your defenders. It's just nobody was throwing him. And like he seems to get separation so quick, man, and he can turn on a dime.
He's so like fluid at it. It's so natural to him. He's gonna be amazing.
And man, if this offense can get rolling, man, I think this team could be special this year, especially if our defense is half as good as people are making it out to be, especially like within like these joint practices and stuff. I think when all the starters are out there, man, I think Philly could be good. And I think we're going to win the division. I'm still banking on it.
We'll see.
Still lock it down. We win in division. But the last thing I had here is legendary coach Dick Vermeil is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. He was with the Eagles among other teams, but he's finally going into the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, he didn't win a Super Bowl with the Eagles, but he won a Super Bowl elsewhere.
Yeah. Still, though, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But that's all the news that I have this week, man. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add to the show.
That's everything there.
All right. There's only one thing left to do, and that's the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. It's more of a sports fact this week, and it has to do with my Eagles. And I was kind of surprised today when I saw it. With 19 days till the Eagles opener, we're saluting Tom Dempsey. He was born with a club foot and no right hand. And he kicked 11 seasons in the NFL, including 4 with the Eagles, and he set a record 63-yard field goal as a New Orleans Saint.
That's incredible.
And he also made quite a few tackles on special teams as well. But this
people down.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture of him, man, because they show a picture of him kicking, and man, it's crazy that he's out here kicking 63-yard field goals and everything, all power. This dude is legendary. I didn't really know much. I've heard the name before, but I never really dug into research
and
on him.
Really knew the story of it.
Exactly, and I mean, it's awesome to see not even just former Eagles like that, but just former players just in general in the NFL that were able to accomplish, with the hand that they were dealt in life. They were able to rise up and and accomplish things. We talked about before, Shaquem Griffin, I think his name was, and for the Seahawks drafted him.
Exactly. Ended up still making it to the NFL. That's crazy.
Exactly. And you have a kicker out here kicking with a club foot, 63-yard field goals, man. That's crazy.
Right.
So yeah, that's the crazy sports fact of the podcast this week. Hopefully we'll get a lot more NFL news coming up here. There's going to be a lot of cuts next week coming up on next week. Every week. And this weekend is the last of the preseason games. And then next week is an off week for Labor Day and everything.
They start Thursday.
Yep. And then that Thursday afterwards is the first game. It's old Cowboys and Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. And I mean, we're going to be talking about all the games like we did this past season each week. So we're going to have a ton of news coming up here in the next couple weeks. Until then, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to go on Twitter and follow us at Squad Pod Sports. And we'll see everybody next week.
Peace.